Welcome in, everybody. I am Nightfire here live with the full Acer squad. We've got Taquito as the captain here aside me, and we'll go down the list and meet the Acer squad. Taquito, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Taquito. I'm the captain of Acer for the Breacher side. I specialize mainly in just keeping everyone organized, scheduling the matches, scrims, making sure I know all the rules to let them know what the rules are. That's mainly.
So you are you heard the cats, as the saying goes.
Yeah, pretty much. I keep these guys in line. It's a hard job, very hard.
All right.
But I try my best.
Excellent. Next up, Hotline.
What's up, chat? I mean, all I do is just use grenades. That's basically it.
Toxics.
All right, what's up? My name's Toxics. I'm a Canuck god, also Sleepy Penguin's dad. Proud father of him doing good in BCL, but that's really it for me.
Okay, and Red.
Hey, I'm Red. I'm pretty much the roam for the team, and also second in command for the carry.
Okay, Tech9.
That's about it.
I'm Tech9 Jr.
Nice. Good 360. We appreciate that. Thank you for that. Taquito, as the team captain, you have to organize and herd this team in. What do you focus on when you go into scrims in particular? What's kind of your goal as a team captain of a squad that's right now at the very top end of the ladder?
The main thing I focus on, everyone knows their roles. Hotline, I don't really have to go into specifics of like what every single person has to do before each match because they know their roles, they know what they're supposed to do, and they're the best at doing what they do. Mainly, I guess I just say let's focus up, make sure we're not fooling around, even though we always fool around. Even if I say not to fool around, it can get a little hectic sometimes, but we still pull through in the end most of the time.
How does it feel being, a captain of a squad that is currently at the very top of the NA ladder? Do you feel that pressure at all? Has that gotten to you in any capacity now as we're into the seventh week of the season?
Playing for or being the captain of the best team or the top one of the top teams. It's a lot of pressure because when you go against other teams, they don't really have much to lose, right? If they lose to us, then that's.
If anything, we don't even have a captain. All of us are on all he does is schedule. All of us just do our own stuff the whole time.
Well, that's not the question, Tech.
Yeah, well, as the captain, what do you do?
I already said what I did as the captain. I schedule and focus on the rules. What did you say when he asked you?
I'm Tech9 Jr.
Tech9 Jr.
I am Tech9 Jr. He has to introduce myself.
Yeah. Well, that's not the question right now.
Well, yeah. Well, stop fucking lying. How about that, huh?
Lying? All right.
Pressure as the fail captain.
Question.
Well, I can ask the rest of the team and go down the line and get answers. Hotline, how do you feel playing on a team that is right now leading in that NA division?
I'm fine with it. I mean, we could always get better. The title means nothing.
Toxics, how do you feel?
Well, Hotline said.
Red, what about you?
It's nice playing on like a top tier team. I mean, I personally don't really like to settle for less than the top. It's nice.
Fair.
Tech9, what about you?
What it's like playing for a top tier team? It's it's like the same thing, and I don't know. It's all right. I'd say it's just like normal, like playing the game. I guess it doesn't really feel any different, but it's good to know that we can beat teams. I think that's about it, though.
Okay. How do you handle going up against new squads, Taquito? Do you do any footage? You do any footage review? Do you try and scrim the team before you play them, or is it just again dealing with you just kind of are dealing with the unknown?
No, honestly, when it comes to new teams, we don't really worry too much unless we do hear that they've been beating other top teams like F3, Eternity. Then we keep an eye out. We're like, okay, well, these guys might actually pose a threat. But for the most part, unless we're facing a top 3 team, we don't really worry too much. We're like, okay, let's just try our best. We'll most likely win.
Okay. No
That's
real.
pretty much it.
Yeah, the sort of a casual sort of approach.
It's not the best thing to do either, because if they could catch us off guard, they could be just like really good. Then they just they throw us off our feet, and then we'll really focus. The next time we'll be like, okay, these guys, we should not joke around with them. Should actually take it more serious. We're more like learn the hard way type of people.
Okay. I mean, speaking of learning the hard way, I mean, Hotline, Toxic Red, Tech9, you know, what have you guys done any footage review on the games that you have lost, or done any sort of, you know, tried to like adapt and learn what you can do better each sort of game, or is it really just you just play in that ranked server and do pub stomps all day? What's sort of your way of practicing, I guess?
I mean, it's mostly about knowing the players, the individuals, and also knowing teams' play styles. We don't really practice that much, a lot less than we should, at least. But for the most part, it's just knowing what other people are gonna do.
Speaking of, I mean, you don't have to answer, you know, to give me any specifics, but are you guys familiar enough with opponents like Eternity and these guys that you have played at the top pretty consistently? Like, are you able to recognize certain players even, but you know, before you're shooting at them and finding, you know, do you anticipate this sort of stuff when you go up against teams that you've played so much?
Yeah, I mean, generally, players will play certain positions. They'll have certain play styles. So generally, you know who you're going to go up against whenever you're playing a certain positioning.
Interesting.
Yeah, like when you want to focus like their roamer, you're like, okay, let's say such and such is roaming right here, because they normally always do that. We tend to focus them, take them out, and then proceed with the plan that we have to take the site.
Okay. Kind of want to talk about shotguns because we are seeing those get some effective use in the mid tier, and I kind of want to talk about the mid tier just a little bit with you guys. What anyone can feel free to answer this, speak up on this one, but what do we think of shotguns? Are they becoming a viable mid tier weapon? We're seeing some top tier teams use them a little bit effectively. I won't say terribly effectively, but you know, what's the thought on the resurgence of the shotgun, so to speak? Is there one, or am I just overselling it?
I mean, there hasn't really been much changes to the shotgun, so the shotgun has always stayed the same for a long time. I feel like if there was actually a viable way of using it, it would have already been done. There are certain situations where it is good to use it, depending on like your eco. Normally, if you can afford a Vezin, you should buy a Vezin. If you can't afford a Vezin, then you should just go with a pistol. That's the way the economy is right now with breachers.
Yeah.
Which honestly, we would like to see that change. We would like to see more like variety with like weapons that are used, not just the same Vezin, Spectral. So yeah, the shotgun really, you got to play a certain play style, but at a certain distance, it's just not going to be like that viable. If the opponent has a Vezin, then
yeah,
I mean, they're just gonna one tap you.
I saw OnDog writing a big post on the Taurus. Is there any thoughts on the Taurus and that viability? And you know, going up against a Vezin, is anyone here a fan of the Taurus, or do we feel the Cyclo and the Spectral, that's the better way to go?
Hotline is the Taurus person. So what are your thoughts? Or he uses the Taurus every now and then when he's like feeling a little freaky.
What is the use case for you? When do you like to use the Taurus, Hotline?
I only use the Spectral nowadays because if you miss your first shot with the Taurus, you're basically dead.
Not last question, but curious, you know, what do you guys want to see changed in the mid game? Like, what would you want to see changed if you had the ability to make an impact? Is it a new SMG? Is it to get more money in the mid game somehow? You know, what do you guys as players want to see different in the game that you play so much?
I would definitely add, or first of all, I think what should change is right now there's really only two maps that the competitive community. There's really only two maps that the competitive community. Okay, can I restart?
Yeah, no.
These people
yeah.
are yapping in my ears.
I turned down the audio.
Okay. Right now, the competitive community is really only centered around Hideout and Factory. So a new map into that would definitely extend the playability of the game in general. But other than that, I'd say eco round, a better eco round alternative other than just like Cadillo would be better. Maybe
Okay.
something like the Omen coming back.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely like to see something change in the mid game, and I think that the Triangle Factory devs are listening. They've made some great adjustments so far to the economy and the game. I mean, to that point, what do you guys think of the Marui? Is anyone starting to use that more? Are we seeing any more viability with the Marui after it's been adjusted in one of the more recent updates?
I have seen people start to use the Marie really well recently. I guess it just depends on what kind of gun you're feeling. I feel like they both the Marie and the Vezin still do the same amount of the same. They perform the same. If you can hit your headshot, then you're just gonna win every fight, pretty much. So I don't think it makes that much of a game-changing difference to use the Marie over the Vezin, but if some people like the Marie more, I guess the only difference would be like the spray pattern.
Right.
Yeah, I think the Marie might be better to control, but in most situations in the game, you're not really spraying for the entire mag. You're just hitting headshots, or at least at the top level where we're at. No one's
Right.
really just spraying down.
So I think also there's some niche spots for it to be used since whenever it does fall off, it's no longer a one-shot headshot. So like we definitely saw Infinity using those Maries really well this last time in our VRML match.
When you go up against something like that, do you guys then consider maybe we need to start practicing the Marui a little bit, or is it just stick with what's comfortable right now?
I mean, it's definitely new. But I think it's too early to tell if it's really viable. But they definitely used it exceptionally well.
What is your favorite team to watch and your favorite team to play against? And if they're the same person, then that's the same team, and that's fine as well. We'll start with Taquito.
I think my favorite team to watch is Eternity. Their strategy is always really amazing to watch. The way they execute things, it's so coordinated and perfect. Something we could probably learn on improving on. To playing against, it would be also Eternity. Either Eternity or F3 is the more fast-paced playstyle. It suits us better. We don't get as bored sitting in a corner of the map for half the round until anything happens. It just bores us. That's the main issue.
You guys would not do well with the game of Onward.
If we played Onward, we'd just be running down. We would find a way to play it fast paced, to be honest. But yeah.
Anyone else have any counter thoughts to that, or is it pretty much an agreement? Eternity is the team that you kind of like to go up against.
Yeah, I'd say Eternity. Definitely one of the more fun matchups to watch.
Is there anything else that you guys want to say to the people at home that are tuning in that's appropriate? Anything you want to share about yourself as a player?
Give us more competition.